Well, if there's one thing I like in the morning, it's a good old Mick Brown impersonation. Have you noticed how much Brownie looks like Uncle Albert off Only Fools and Horses? It's a remarkable, striking resemblance. But you know, one of the great things about getting up early is that you get to see so many things that you wouldn't normally see. Now, from a tactical point of view, I think what we're going to do today is concentrate on fishing at range because of the bream. We've had a bit of a chat and we think we're probably going to give this the day, risk it for a bream, and if it doesn't work, we'll move on anyway, because there are other venues where we might get bream later, so. Well, this feels like the best tench that we've hooked in the session. It's a good fish, actually. It's been fighting really hard. Basically, this morning was really bright and clear, and so has this afternoon been. It was a waste of time earlier on. We had a couple of early fish, and now we've just started to pick up sport again, and this is a nice tench, this one. And we still haven't seen a sign of a bream yet. We remain optimistic. We're going to give it till dusk. And if we don't catch a bream, we're going to move on from here to another lake in search of another species. But the fishing has just started to kick off again after yesterday's marvellous action in the rain. It went really quiet, and now all of a sudden we're catching quality fish again. And really, when you're catching tench like this beauty here, you just don't want to leave. My heart's telling me not to go, it's telling me to stay and catch more tench. But my head's telling me that in terms of the challenge, we've really only got a couple of hours left, but while we're here, we'll milk it for what it's worth, and if we can't catch a bream, well, a few of these will do instead. Oh, beautiful. Real good fighters, the tench. When they get their heads in the weed, they don't seem to fight at all, but if you can pull them through open water, they don't half pull back. There she goes. Well, that just goes to show that the fish in this lake are used to the sound of the spod hitting the water. A lot of anglers worry about it. I was literally spodding over the top of the rod when this one took off, and Mick's had to crank in the spod for me, so how about that? It's getting pretty hectic here now. It's a beautiful evening. It's going to be a fantastic sunset, and this is terrific fishing, I'll tell you. It's fishing straight out of the top drawer. I like to get them back into the water quite quickly, actually. You might think we're being a bit blasé lifting some of these fish out. We're not. We're using quite strong tackle to get them through the weed, and it's all about just popping them back into the water while they're at the water's edge, I suppose. If we hook a really big tench, then obviously we'll go scurrying for the net, but it's quite a nice swim to just pick fish out here. And you can see them in their natural environment in among this pondweed. Absolutely beautiful, aren't they? Big humpy back fish, carrying no spawn whatsoever, way past spawning time, and yet you wouldn't know it. They're at absolute peak condition. And incidentally, one very interesting thing is that every fish caught is being hooked on that plastic corn. And because it's slightly buoyant, I put just a little number 6 shot about 2 or 3 inches from the corn, and the rig itself, it's a fairly short hook link. And this part of the rig's quite interesting. It's basically a block end swim feeder. And then above that, you've got a bead and a swivel that runs between these 2 beads. And what happens is this: when the feeder hits the bottom, this swivel gets pushed up the line, so it comes out of the weed, and it just helps the hook bait fall a little bit more naturally and settle on top of the weed rather than get dragged down into it. And it's very, very effective. Let's just slip this fish back. Back you go, baby. This one's got a bit of power. It's a really angry tench. It's firing around the swim. It's really going for it, Mick. Oh, it's come off. Oh, I don't believe it. Oh, I think that was a good fish, you know.
I didn't want to say anything, but when it jumped out, it was a big tench, very big one. Honestly, it was a very big tencher. Has it just come off?
Yeah. Just bumped off.
Honestly, it was... I'm not trying to make you feel bad, but it was a bloody big tench.
Thanks for that, mate.
It's a tiller, really. Well, I'm hoping I've got the big one that Matt lost.
Go on, Albert.
That's your cheek. She's feeling smaller and smaller as it approaches the net, but it's definitely a tench.
Yeah, Mick.
Well, another average-sized tench in perfect condition. I know we keep repeating ourselves, but these are marvellous fish. The plastic sweet corn and the barbless hook has come out easily. And there she is. Magnificent tench wearing a weed necklace. It's the practical way to get it off. Absolutely marvellous. But that's never been caught before.
Well, it's the end of a fantastic fishing session at Horseshoe. We're absolutely cream crackered, we really are. We've fished our hearts out, but I think we've got the result we wanted. We caught the tench, we caught roach, and we caught rudd as well. We didn't get the bream, unfortunately, but hey, terrific fishing. Right now, we're just finishing loading up the van, which is in a right old state. We're going to drive across to the West Midlands, believe it or not. We're going to Dudley. Now, you might find that a little bit strange, but there is a very nice lake there, and it contains our next target species. So, no rest for the wicked. Drive across town, and a few hours kip in the van, I suppose, and off we go in the morning.